Welcome back to the E3 Esports Zone, powered by ESL at the glorious E3 2017 here in the beautiful Los Angeles Convention Center. I am joined here by Duran Parsi, currently the CEO of Collegiate Star League. Now, Duran, what do you think of this event and just everything as a whole, and Collegiate Star League and what it does for esports?
Sure. I think it's a huge opportunity to be at E3. It's obviously one of the biggest gaming events in the world, and to feature collegiate competition at E3, I think is a big step forward for collegiate esports and gaming in general. So I'm super excited that we got the opportunity to have our spring championships here. And I think in general, collegiate esports is super important, right? We're helping students earn a living while going to college, helping them pay for college. And also I think it helps provide a pathway for an aspiring player to have a way to showcase their abilities, get picked up by pro teams, and sort of establish a career for themselves in gaming, either as players or as people like casters like yourself even.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic because, I mean, there's $10,000 on the line. That is not by any means a small prize pool, and something that CSL has done a fantastic job at has consistently expand on both the venues. I mean, look at it, we're at E3, it's the first time that you're not only getting to open it up to the public, but you're having an awesome esports stage like this to bring that experience to both the viewers at home, as well as everyone that's in attendance and watching. And so with that expansionary, what has been the really motivating goal and the motivating factor for Collegiate Star League in going and expanding week after week, you know, month after month?
Well, I think the biggest motivation is, again, giving more exposure to college players. I think there's this misconception that college players don't have any skill, right? And being on a stage like this tells people that college players are good and their games matter and that they're important, and it's exciting to watch. I think that's the other important thing, right? It's awesome to watch two college teams play, just like it's awesome to watch college basketball, right? So we're trying to build the same experience with collegiate esports, and again, being on this type of stage really helps push that message forward.
Yeah, and I think the extra factor that you add into it as well is the fact that they're in college. Not only are they, you know, esports athletes, as you might want to call them, or so be it, but they're also students. They're going to achieve a degree. They're studying, they're getting all of their classes done, and then they're coming home and they're playing games. They're playing Vainglory, and what do you know? Now they're on stage and they're doing this. But guys, we do have the semifinal, or sorry, the third place match rather, coming up next between Seattle Pacific University and University of Massachusetts Amherst. And to get right into the action, all the details, and just to get things going, let's kick it over to the analysts.
Thank you yet again, Jump. I'm Action Jackson here with Sweet Generis, and we have a third place matchup coming up for you guys. It's gonna be a very exciting one. University of Seattle up against UMass, University of Massachusetts. Both teams that had a tough time in their semifinals matchup, but teams who definitely want to lock in that third place slot, lock down a bit more prize money and a bit more pride.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting matchup because both of the teams have equal skill level, I would say, for the most part. However, historically, though, UMass has lost to Seattle Pacific in the regular season. So I think Seattle is the favorite to win this matchup. However, we can't really, we can't really put down UMass because they have a few things in that they can surprise us with. So a very interesting matchup here for today.
And definitely based on performance earlier on today in their semifinals matchup, Seattle looked extremely shaky, whereas UMass, they had more glimmers of hope, I would say, against the tournament favorites, CSUF. So definitely both teams have the potential to win this one. I think draft is going to be critical. So let's start talking about what we might see. Earlier on, one thing which really stood out for me was UMass picking up Catherine in both games. They really like that pick. Maybe they can make it work this time.
Yeah, I think Catherine will play, but both teams have not played Catherine to the level that she could be played. And she's one of my favorite captains. I think Arden is going to be a bigger pick for them because Arden is more forgiving. The Vanguard lasts 4 seconds. The Great Bear, the Gauntlet is down on the ground for up to 6 seconds if you max that ultimate. So I think Arden is more forgiving based on the playstyle of both these teams here.
All right, we're into the draft for our third place series between University of Massachusetts Amherst and Seattle Pacific University. Lyra immediately being banned away by UMass. How is Seattle Pacific University going to answer?
I like the Lyra ban because if they first pick Arden, it's really smart because Lyra is actually a counter to Arden. When she has the bulwark up, Arden cannot Vanguard and save the allies caught within that bulwark. Grumpjaw is a great ban by Seattle. He's been very dominant. He's been picked and played in almost every game today. So I think UMass, if they're smart, they will probably pick the Arden here. It makes the most sense. And I think that the games where teams that played Arden were much more successful today, but they're going to go ahead and go with the Lance here. Maybe it's a more comfort pick for Luque.
Yeah, and he's stepping away from that Catherine, I guess, seeing that it didn't really pan out in the semifinals. He wants to try something else in this third-place match. Seattle Pacific University, though, they're thinking about maybe a Kroll. This is something Lance can deal fairly nicely with, though, right?
Yeah, Kroll is not that good into Lance if the Lance knows what he's doing with the Githian Wall and the roots. And also, they're playing a Crystal Crow potentially with the Vox here, and the Crystal Crow needs to build attack speed. I actually prefer either go Alternating Current or Poison Shiv. I think that's very important. I love the Arden pickup here. It is great with Kroll. It has the double barrier coming out. The other team is probably going to take off the Vox, but they're going to go with Kestro, actually. And Kestro Lance is a good combination because Lance does a good job protecting that Kestro.
All right, one more pick left on the board for UMass here. How are they going to round out their comp? This Kestrel could still go towards the lane. It could go towards the jungle, but it looks like it's going to be a lane Kestrel with Alpha being locked in as the jungler. Seattle instantly snatch up that box.
I hope the Alpha builds Aftershock Broken Mid instead of Storm Crown so that she can get more damage in the mid to late game. And hope Vox builds Poison Shiv because I think that's a very solid build to help him sustain in lane and really carry to the mid and late game power spikes here.
All right, so what are we watching for here? Who is your competition that you think can take this one home, and what do we need to watch for in the game?
I like the Lance with Alpha and Kestro pick because Lance is really good. He can lock Crow down and blow him up with the arrow Glimmer shots from Kestro. However, Crow does counter Alpha pretty hard. So it's going to be how they're engaging here. And if they can get onto Kestro and blow her up immediately in the fight, then I think they're going to take away the game and the game every time.
All right, let's hand it on over to our shoutcasters. We've got Humanist and Tasty Bacon for game one of this third-place match.
Series.
Yeah, absolutely. I am looking forward to see both these teams looking for a bit of redemption after their semifinals matchups. Neither side really getting the kind of performance that they would be hoping for. So we'll see if any of these strategies change up here coming into the third place match. But right now, it doesn't look like it, as both teams in the early game, again, going to be playing very defensively, very carefully in the jungle. But I have to feel like Seattle Pacific got a slight edge in the draft just because in the jungle, I want to see if they take advantage of it. Kroll against Alpha. Early on, that matchup goes to Kroll 95% of the time.
We'll see if they can make that happen. I mean, you do have Lucas sitting on this Lance, though, and Lance shores up a lot of your weaknesses in the early game. He can apply a lot of pressure, go ahead and Githian Wall, impale the Kroll. It can be hard to follow up on. So as you said, it would be nice to see the Kroll get in there. Well, it all depends on the captain coming out of UMass Amherst. Right now, it's going to be Luke and Doc Barber trying to take up that Elder Tree, and it looks like it will be going their way. Doc Barber able to get the last hit on that, so he's going to get the healing, the regen coming out of the Elder Tree, which is so important, allowing them to go ahead and snowball through the rest of that jungle. And we do see a three-man rotation from Seattle Pacific moving up into the lane. Andy Tran going to hang out in that brush, wait for his passive to get activated. There we go. Now it's just a matter of time if they want to pull the trigger and go in or not. Luca moves forward. They do see exactly what's going on, so Seattle Pacific not able to actually take advantage of that rotation.
Yeah, it was a nice opportunity for them, but just not really able to pull the trigger, not willing to go any further than what they did. So Seattle Pacific now going to be looking for an opportunity for Andy Tran to go rotating through the jungle once more, try and get himself some farm. He is going to be going for that Crystal Kroll build path once again. So interesting to see that be a decision. But up in this lane, Retro taking a lot of damage due to those resonance bounces.
Taking a lot of damage, and it feels like based off the movements we see coming out of Vox, Forgeable on this Vox, that he feels very comfortable up here. And he's just kind of dancing around, using that Sonic Zoom to have superior positioning, and the pulse is two-man impale. Can they follow up? Githian Wall back. Luca's there. Purple Bunny taking a lot of damage. Doc Barber's there, but the kill goes to Luca. First blood to UMass Amherst, and they got to feel good about that.
Yeah, definitely got to feel good about a first blood coming through. I love the engagement timing there. Both the Alpha and the Lance connecting with their skill shots at the same time meant there was really no opportunity for the reaction to come out from Seattle Pacific, and as a result, they go down to get that first blood, going over to UMass, and it is going to be the Lance that actually ended up getting it.
Yeah, maybe you would have liked to see the kill go on to your jungler and to your laner. It does go over to the Lance, so that's going to be just okay right now. 3 minutes in, we're waiting to see when this next engagement is going to kick off here, but both teams happy to go ahead and just farm up. Retro has not gone back to the base. He's just getting his last hits in lane. Same thing with the Corrigible, but I guess if you're not forced off it, why do it?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough spot here for Seattle Pacific. They need to find a way to get themselves to have some sort of momentum. They had no momentum in their semifinal matchup. They started off this third place match not in an ideal situation, but Andy Tran really is the one that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on to see if he's going to step up in a big way, because again, normally you would say Kroll would have an edge in this jungle matchup, but as you can see, he still hasn't visited the shop, but over on the other side, this Alpha already has the Aftershock completed.
Yeah, has the Aftershock completed, not even grabbing the boots. And we saw this earlier from Doc Barber. Doc Barber was not one of those players that was going to get in there, pick up his boost of speed early on, but the Aftershock brings a lot to the party, a lot to the table. This is a great item pickup very early on here. And UMass Amherst, they drop down as a unit. They're going to get some shopping done. Retro NA able to pick up some items. A Corrigible was able to pick up some items as well. So now they're going to be fighting on a whole new foot here. Both teams, both laners capable of actually finding a kill if they're able to find an engagement. Andy Tran, you got to be careful. Doc Barber jumps in. Prime Directive, a core charge, and that's all she wrote. That's going to be 2-0 as they find their second kill. Seattle Pacific, are they going to lose their Arden as well? Purple Bunny playing with fire here. And he can hang around, but he's going to have to rely on some last hitting coming out of a Corrigible, or at least the aggression being deterred. It looks like UMass Amherst are going to drop down, maybe take away the mids.
And Purple Bunny going to be sticking around here. Needs to be careful with this low health. Thankfully for them, Retro is low on energy, but UMass definitely finding more opportunities here and just taking advantage of the situations that are being presented to them.
They're definitely taking advantage of it. I think it's very efficient rotations through the jungle thus far. Really good job out of UMass. See if they can continue on this trend. Retro jips the shop. He's going to go ahead and get his Sorrow Blade now. So nice timing, 5.5 minutes in on that Sorrow Blade.
Yeah, Sorrow Blade going to be coming out very early on here for UMass, and that seems to just be the trend. Members of UMass get their first items before Seattle Pacific. You look at Purple Bunny, still hasn't gone to the shop to get himself that fountain, though does have enough gold for it. So definitely going to be looking for that rotation to come through.
Oh, Retro!
Lane instead.
Finds it, just the tip of the spear there on that last Glimmer shot coming through, finding the kill. Purple Bunny dodges out that impale from Luca. Trying to hold the lane, what are you doing? No, Purple Bunny falls as well. And UMass Amherst maybe getting a freebie on that last one there.
Yeah, Andy Tran going to be trying to hang out, trying to just soak up this experience. But again, you're going to go the way of the bunny.
Andy Tran, no! Right as his teammates are respawning, Andy Tran goes down on this Kroll as well. He's gone for the Eve of Harvest as his first item here. No boots, no defense, just the Eve of Harvest. And now Corrigible is going to go ahead and try and hold this lane. Retro NA, luckily for Seattle Pacific, is out of energy, so it's going to slow his roll a little bit here. But I mean, talk about this item here for this Kroll.
Yeah, going for the Eve of Harvest again, it's with the Crystal Power Kroll, it's all about just staying alive for a long, long time in these fights. And so that's really what the Eve of Harvest is here for. It's just give him a little bit extra energy so he can use Dead Man's Rush as quickly as, or as frequently and over a long period of time as possible.
Yeah.
But also then just makes him able to stay alive in the fights as long as possible, but he has to be using abilities in order to do so.
Purple Bunny, hopefully he doesn't have to self-fountain. He's trying to get out of here. He might die before he throws the fountain out, keeps himself alive. NPL's gonna land as Luca was silenced up here. Corrigible finding some basic attacks. Now he doesn't have a tier 3 item actually complete. Yeah, they turned around. Corrigible, you gotta get out of here. Doc Barber, Prime Directive in onto the turret as the turret was targeting onto Luca. It's onto Doc Barber. He's right there, just slaps him down. Eats a couple turret shots, doesn't even need the fountain, gets it at the end of it, and was able to get out of there. Andy Tran actually taking a lot of damage as well. Can Andy Tran get out of this? They're hanging in the jungle. Andy Tran is down as well. This is going to be just a Corrigible left on the map for Seattle Pacific.
And UMass are just really taking the fight to him. The Crystal Treant does drop Doc Barber down into that reboot, but he will be able to get back up as the sentry does fall. So great job by UMass, again, just finding opportunities and taking advantage. 7 kills to 0 in 8 minutes over Seattle Pacific. And now a tier 2 or second tier 3 items coming out from UMass. This is going to just get even more scary.
Hey, Retro and A, he's 1 versus 2 over here. They're going to be able to get the kill. It's going to be Vox trying to Sonic Zoom out of here. Last hit goes over to Doc Barber. He's able to find that kill. It should be Arden getting out of here out of this one as well. But on the top side, Andy Tran playing with fire. And Luca very aggressive through here. And he should be able to get away. Has the combat roll, can impale through the wall as well. They're not going to chase him down. Such a tough situation to be in right now. SBO sitting on the back foot, down 8-1, 8.5 minutes into this one. UMass Amherst, a significant lead that they built up, about 5K net worth at this point. And if Seattle Pacific doesn't do something different in the next few minutes, I would only expect that this lead will continue to build upon itself.
Yeah, definitely. You got to figure that's going to be the case because they are continuously just finding more and more kills. That one kill that Seattle Pacific did get was the 2-on-1 situation, and Retro's with pretty much no defense built yet, because he hasn't really had much of a need for it other than that one time, is going to be the only sort of blemish on UMass's record thus far through the first 9 minutes.
Active camo in, Glimmer Shot lands, 2 Glimmer Shots, and a 1-shot, because why not? Retro NA just 2-shotted down a Corrigible, the laner for Seattle Pacific University. That is so brutal.
Yeah, they are going to be able to, again, just look for even more. We're going to rotate down to the jungle. They know Andy Tran's got to be there. He's going to be in trouble as they continue to collapse.
Yeah, Andy Tran, you are in a tough place, buddy. Getting melted down. Andy Tran goes down again. 0-4 on this Kroll at this point. Still hasn't picked up his boots yet. He's a very slow-moving Kroll. Now, he has a lot of crystal power. There's technically some sustainability, not a lot of defense. Retro on the backside there with Doc Barber. Wait for it, comes through. Purple Bunny trying to hold down the turret. It's the core charge, the prime directive in, and they're going to go ahead and take down Purple Bunny. Uses that fountain, but it doesn't keep him alive. And now it's a Corrigible and Andy Tran once again trying to hold against the pressure coming out of UMass Amherst. And it looks like they should be able to take down this turret here. Just a couple more attacks coming out. They're gonna get the turn to Corrigible. You're hanging around. He's stunned up. They're gonna get the kill onto the Vox. I didn't expect the Vox to actually go down there. Andy Tran, you gotta be careful as well. He's impaled. Prime directive
around so long.
Down. Doc Barber's hanging around. Termination protocol activated. He wants to keep that gauntlet up, Doc Barber. He's gonna try and reboot here. Turret is on him. He's actually, because of that turret, onto the Alpha. They're able to get the kill there. And Andy Tran, Purple Bunny staying alive as Retro NA solo, has no energy, but still sticking around these fights. That is a wild ultimate coming out of your Kroll.
That is definitely a wild ultimate coming from Andy Tran, but they are just going to have to hold off and wait now. I mean, I didn't think UMass was going to stick around anywhere near that long, yet they did, and they made it work. They did finally lose out on Doc Barber because he went into the reboot underneath the turret, but aside from that, UMass is just picking Seattle Pacific apart.
Absolutely, just dismantling this team right now. And I got to wonder, like, how much of this is UMass taking advantage of Seattle's play? How much is it them just making it happen?
I would say it's about 60-40, but right now they're going to be looking for some more opportunities. Seattle trying to stop this gold miner.
Breaking point stacking up here for the Kestrel. Retro NA is going to have a lot of damage here in a second. Andy Tran's on the front line. Fountain should be keeping Amherst alive for a second, but as soon as they turn it on, they absolutely triple kill here for Retro NA. 20 breaking point stacks plus the weapon infusion. He's not dismantling. It's more like a destruction at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a wrecking ball just going through. The damage was massive. I mean, we were talking 400 to 500 damage crits coming out of Retro on basic attacks, not even just the glimmer shots. Absolute destruction here by UMass.
I love what Retro NA was doing, just like getting the breaking point stacks, and once he's stacked up, he chooses, okay, now I'm going to go on the carry.
Yep.
It was a really smart play. Nice patience in his performance there. Seattle Pacific, they are on the back foot right now, down 15-2. Net worth really stacking up against them.
Crystal Sentry.
They're going to try and defend the Crystal Sentry. Gauntlets down. They trap Doc Barber inside. Luca's going to move forward. Look at the glimmer shots connecting. Purple Bunny has to self-fountain. Andy Tran's dropping low. He'll just go ahead and fall here. Level 9 also. I mean, there's the level disparity. You look at the Alpha level 11 to the level 9 Andy Tran. I mean, that's significant as well.
Absolutely is. You know, having the levels, it's more stats, more ability power stats as well. You know, being able to level up your skills higher than your opponents have gotten, and they're just going to be pushing it onto this turret. They've got minions with them. That turret is falling so quickly, and here comes the pressure being added on as well.
All right, Retro and A, what can you make happen is he's low energy, but you do have a nice front line there. Luke is going to miss the impale. This is Seattle Pacific just trying to defend, being down on so many, I mean, literally down in levels, down in net worth. Probably morally down a little bit as well. But they're holding it together. They're still alive in this game. There's still a chance.
There is a chance, but it's going to require a big turnaround from Seattle Pacific because they just have not looked confident. They haven't looked comfortable, and now Vox is not going to be looking at a colored screen anymore because it's going black and white.
Uh-oh, Andy Tran as well. Andy's like, okay, well, I'll give it my best shot, but it's not going to be enough. They've lost their jungler and their laner down 15, 20 seconds respectively. And UMass Amherst, they're just going to go ahead and move in as a unit here.
One saving grace for Seattle Pacific is it is so early in the game that they are going to be able to come back up before they can finish. But and UMass, we saw how long they stuck around earlier. They may just stick around, try and find the fight and end this one here.
Only one Vein Crystal turret remaining. Alpha's dropping low. Maybe looks for the termination protocols. The fountain does come out of UMass Amherst. The attack's on, but the crits are there. And Kestrel finds the kill onto Vox. Andy Tran, he's going to be doing his best to stay alive. It's not enough. Double kill. Retro in a 15-1-2 this game. And now Doc Palmer is just like, I'm going to go ahead and prime directive in. Take the last Vein Crystal turret out. Get onto the Vein Crystal. And this is going to be all she wrote here early on for Seattle Pacific University. A sub-15-minute game. UMass Amherst just putting on a clinic here.
Yeah, definitely probably feeling like they wish they played this well against their semifinal matchup because maybe we would have had a different story. Maybe they would have been in the finals instead. But they are going to take game number 1 of this best-of-3 third-place game very convincingly.
Very convincingly indeed. And, you know, I don't know how much it was draft or was it gameplay. I mean, a little bit of both. I think you said, you know, it's them taking advantage of some mistakes but also forcing plays in a pretty nice balance, I think, all things considered.
Well, the balance is there in the fact that they took advantage of mistakes, but then they made those plays, and making those plays and bringing that aggression then forced additional mistakes as well. So that's kind of, you know, we always talk about snowballing. That's part of the snowball is you take advantage of a mistake early, and then you say, okay, now that we have this small lead, we're going to force the issue, and then that pressure gets to your opponents, and they make additional mistakes that you can then continue to take advantage of, and UMass did that perfectly.
Oh, man, I feel like they're snowballing against us over here right now. There was too much snowball action, but guys, I mean, Sweet J, Action Jackson, what went wrong for Seattle there? What can they do going into game 2?
I think there's a variety of things, right, Sweet J? Let's just start to pick it apart a little bit. One thing you brought up to me early on was talking about Kroll and his itemization.
Yeah, I would love to see attack speed, like I said. Eve and plus no boots on Kroll. He needs to stay on his carries. I think boots was probably a very critical itemization error on Seattle's part there. Also, they kept getting picked off. There's kills left and right, constantly getting picked off, and they're playing reactive and not as aggressive as UMass did. I think that, again, the team that plays more aggressive, more decisive, initiates first is a team that normally comes up on top in a lot of these fights.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. This is another crazy kill game, by the way. I think there was 21 kills in 14 and a half minutes. Absolutely obscene. Let's have a look at some replays, though, of the fights in that game. You can see just what a clinic UMass put on. Here we go. They think they've got Kestrel out here, but they really have just gotten beaten in.
Yeah, they're able to kill the Kestrel, but Alpha is fed. She has her Aftershock with Piercing Spear, and then she finishes Broken Myth later in the game. And every time they do get kills and have good fights, UMass does a very great job of securing objectives and continuing to snowball the game there. And Alpha really carry. Their jungler is normally the story in a lot of these matchups here, and they're doing a really good job of engaging at the right time. Look at Alpha lands a 3-man prime directive and then just cleans house, and Kestrel actually gets all those kills, and that ace there gives him the gold mine, gives him the 3rd turret, and then paves the way for them to finish the game at the 13-14 minute mark here. So very nice job by UMass. For sure, Seattle, again, I don't think Crow is a good pick for them. I would avoid the Crow pick. They're not building Crow properly. Crystal Crow is not meta, never has been meta. Takes forever to scale. Theory makes a lot of sense, but in practice, doesn't.
As I said before, I think it's great in those blitz modes where you can just start off with a lot of gold. Because honestly, it's really hard to kill once you get some items. Your shield from Dead Man's Rush, man,
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Huge.
But that's not the situation we're in right now. And if you're falling behind in the early game, you're not getting to that gold that you need to build the items that make you very hard to kill. So maybe Seattle Pacific University here have to go back to the drawing board. They've got at least this one more opportunity to try and make their way back in the series, try and claim third place. Let's head into the draft in just a couple of seconds here. What are we expecting to see?
Yeah, I think that I hope Seattle does not pick the Cruel. They need to play heroes that they are confident and have great synergy. Again, Cruel, they didn't chain their ultimates. No good combos with the Gauntlet and follow through. A lot of indecisiveness coming from Seattle. I don't know who their shot caller is or if they have a shot caller. But again, that makes a big difference. Team synergy and itemization, like Cruel without boots, to me is just kind of crazy, to be honest, because he needs to stay on his hero. And also he needs attack speed. He survives on attack speed by applying the weakness stacks, etc. So Alpha's going to be banned here. Very smart by Seattle because Doc Barber just played Alpha so well in the last game. I love this ban coming up from Seattle.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. UMass have a chance to answer here. They can really shape what Seattle has open to them for their first pick. It's going to be a Lyra ban.
Yeah, I like the Lyra ban. I feel like against a team that is not decisive and not synergized to delete a carry off the bat, Lyra excels really well in that position. And Baptiste is picked up, guys. Super exciting here. I hope they know how to build him. They know how to play him. I hope they're going to make him crystal, not weapon. Baptiste is going to be really exciting here coming out of Seattle.
Yeah, Baptiste, very interesting hero, one of the most recently added to Vainglory. We saw it used to great effect in the Unified Western Live Championships in London by Cloud9. Maybe Seattle Pacific University can have the same kind of effect here. Finn going to be a lock-in from UMass. I do like Finn into that Baptiste. It's someone you can't ordain them. You can't hear them, right?
Yeah, I love that. I think UMass knows their stuff. Finn cannot be stunned. He can walk out of it, and he's a great support when it comes to late game for sure with Gwen here. They have two stuns, a Quibble and the Gwen ultimate. Vox is a great pick. Rhyme is a very good pick into Finn because Finn is slow and big and is an easy target for Rhyme to lock down and get stacks off of. So let's see what UMass is going to play. Maybe Sky could come into the mix here potentially. Oh, they're highlighting Sky here, and Sky is picked. Wow.
All right, so interesting compositions here. Talk to me a little bit about how they work as a whole and who we should expect to take this one home based on comps alone.
Yeah, Sky counters Rhyme really hard. However, Baptiste can lock down the Sky, but Finn is there to protect Sky from Rhyme. So like, it's going to be really hard for Rhyme to get onto the Sky here because Finn is there, and Gwen also has her Buckshot Bonanza, which slows Rhyme for 2 seconds or any enemy heroes when they're caught within that cone shot. So really good draft from UMass. They definitely know their draft here for sure.
All right, it's going to be an exciting game. This is Seattle Pacific's last chance to take home a win at E3 and at the CSL Vainglory 2017 Spring Championships. On the other side of that coin, though, UMass wants to lock down third place and get a little bit more prize money in their bucket. Let's hand it on over to our shoutcasters. We've got Humanist and Tasty Bacon.
Thank you very much, Jackson, and that's right. I'm here with Tasty Bacon, and we are ready for the second match in this best-of-3 series. UMass putting on a clinic in game number 1. What can Seattle do here moving forward?
Well, they started off on the right foot here with an excellent draft. Having Baptiste and Rhyme on the same team is a really, really good combo. You throw down an Ordained and then say, cool, you're going to either sit in that Ordained and we're going to throw down Winter Spires on you, or you're going to try and leave the Ordained, get stunned, and have Winter Spires thrown down on you. So it's a really strong combo, just going to be a matter of if Purple Bunny and Andy Tran can coordinate themselves together to make it work.
Absolutely, and then it comes down to it. I mean, obviously damage is coming out onto you. Are you able to return fire as well? We'll keep our eyes on as Elder Tran is being contested here early on. It looks like Doc Barber is going to be able to grab that with a forward barrage. Very happy to do so. And so this means it's a nice advantage early on. That's the experience, that's gold, that's money in the pocket for UMass.
Yep, absolutely. So great job by UMass, just getting a little bit of an edge early. Again, both of these teams have been fairly passive throughout the early game, so now UMass turning it up early, maybe catching Seattle Pacific off guard.
And why not? I mean, if you come out of game 1 so strong, I think that does give you a mental edge going into game 2. Maybe you decide to play a little more aggressively. Oftentimes, the more aggressive team is the better team.
Yeah, so here we go with this, that early game aggression, especially on a Crystal Sky. You can really make it work and do a ton of damage. Those forward barrages are nothing to scoff at, but Retro on this Gwen. This is also one of the first Gwens we've seen today. Going to be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, Luca trying to hold down that left brush there, taking a lot of damage He's very tanky on that Finn, able to get back into a better position. Retro just hanging back. He's now level 2, so he has that skedaddle, a nice tool for him, especially up against that Ordain.
And well, they need to be able to make sure they don't get caught up too much. And that's the one nice thing about this composition of UMass is you have the Gwen who can avoid the stun and the Finn who can't be stunned. So both of them can kind of deal with that Ordained on their own. The Sky, however, can have some serious troubles there against an Ordained, but Andy Tran could be in some trouble.
Andy Tran taking a lot of damage. That's a contested Elder Tree in the bottom. Andy Tran is about to drop down. Andy Tran goes down. First blood to UMass, but Doc Barber, one more attack goes down. Purple Bunny gets it. That was a captain versus captain battle here as Luca is going to be forced back onto his side of this map. A Corrigible dropping down, trying to help out his buddy, but Purple Bunny able to get the return kill.
Yeah, able to make sure things don't get too out of hand early on. They don't get the first blood bonus, obviously, but now they may be looking for a second kill.
Yeah, Luca pops a potion. A Corrigible's there with Purple Bunny getting the damage out. They don't want to commit because they don't want to trade the kill back to Retro, who had pretty good, significant damage actually coming out there. I really like this, though. We saw Purple Bunny. He was the playmaker for this team in the past few games we've seen. He's taking a little more offensive approach this game.
Yeah, and I really like, that's one of the reasons I like the Baptiste pick on one of these more playmaking type captain players is that you can be a playmaker. You can go more offensive with Baptiste. You even see at the start, most captains will start with either health or shield just to be able to get into the Fountain of Renewal quicker. He is going straight into Crystal Power.
Yeah, this is what they need to do. Like, honestly, there wasn't not enough damage coming out of Andy Tran and a Corrigible through the first series, through the last game. And now, a little bit of a switch up here from Seattle Pacific. Very smart, and this is really cool. I love to see these guys evolving on the fly.
Yeah, and that's one of the things you have to do. If you want to be a competitor in Vainglory, you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to adjust to what you are seeing and what is happening, what your opponents are doing.
Absolutely.
And that's a great sign here from Seattle Pacific. Again, it's just you still have to wonder if they're going to be able to put it together because right now in the lane, Retro's is getting a big lead, but here in the jungle.
Over the top side, that Suri Strike got him in a good place. Now Andy Tran caught out there, should be dropping down one more attack out of Retro. And he's going to be able to get that kill. Purple Bunny taking a lot of damage. The Quibble plus that forward barrage. And that's going to be Purple Bunny going down. Now, he doesn't have a lot of defenses. He has the offense that we spoke about. But if you're going to get caught out, you're going to get melted down like that every time.
Yeah, well, so UMass getting off to another strong start. They're going to be pushing in a little bit onto that turret. Not really getting too much damage down onto it, but they're just going to go invading the jungle. And I like to see this from UMass. I like to see them feeling confident, going for these aggressive plays, and just denying gold away from Seattle Pacific.
I mean, feeling good, feeling great. Doc Barber, not only do you get the gold, you get the regen coming out of that mid-camp as well. And as a Sky, that's what you need. You're not fighting on low health because you're so squishy. You're not fighting if you don't have energy because you're all based around your abilities. So it's so important that he takes that mid away, and it's just going to help him snowball through these jungle rotations.
And speaking of these rotations, I've got to figure they're going to make a movement back up to the lane shortly because, again, this lead that Retro has, they both went shopping. Retro has a Sorrow Blade, while a Corrigible only has the components for it. So this is a massive edge Retro has in a 1v1 situation. You throw in another hero or two, and they should be able to find kills just like they're going for now.
Oh my goodness, he's just getting melted. And really nice stun coming out of Purple Bunny, able to keep a Corrigible alive. As you said, Purple Bunny goes down, he can't get out of there. He spent his Ordained to try and keep his laner alive. Now Corrigible, he gets the Sorrow Blade you're talking about, but he's out of cash. He's not gonna have boots, he's not gonna have any defense coming back into the lane.
And that could be a big problem. Look at the CS advantages. Andy Tran realizes I can't fight this, has to just give up that mid-treant once more. So unfortunately, this Rhyme gonna start falling pretty far behind as well. Look at this turret, it is getting melted by UMass. They are just wanting to, looks like, really accelerate the pace of this game as much as possible.
I think more than one, they are actually accelerating the pace of this game. A lot of damage coming out. This turret is just a couple shots away from dropping. They lose that, they're going to lose map control. And the Corrigible, you got to be careful here, as we do see Finn getting closer to that level 6. Force the Cord is going to be a big power spike for UMass.
It's going to be a big power spike, and it's going to really start disrupting Seattle Pacific.
Aces high, the basics are there. Purple Bunny.
One more would have done it.
But that was close.
Yeah, obviously not wanting to go underneath that turret, because one turret shot may have ended Retro. He's going to have to be careful there. That minion's going to drop. He wants the turret kill.
He's going to get it, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he gets it. He trades one turret for one base. He gets out of there. Retro, it's all calculated.
You can see Purple Bunny really wanted to try and contest that, really wanted to throw in damage. He was like, but I don't want to give a turret and a kill. It was just too risky to go for it. So they lose out on the turret. And now the gold miner is going to be falling in favor of UMass as well. 209 gold going to all 3 members. And you can see the gold deficit is already getting pretty large. 4K advantage for UMass.
Yeah, and once again, I mean, we see Doc Barber drop out of that that engagement. He had low energy, low health, and he's like, okay, well, I just take my mid. I'm going to go ahead and go right through my jungle rotations again. It keeps him alive through these fights. There's so much work being done by Retro up in that lane. It frees Doc Barber up to do whatever he wants.
Fountain of Renewal and tier 3 boots from Luca. Going to be going for the Journey boots as opposed to the War Treads that a lot of captains go for. Makes sense on a Finn because Finn is so slow. You want to be able to just... We've seen some players rush in with Finn just to be able to get into position for those quibbles, big stuns once the level 8 comes through. But, I mean, I'm just liking everything I'm seeing from UMass right now. That the Fearsome Shade gets thrown out.
Just throwing some shade, because, I mean, that's all he could do right there. There's your Force Accord. Get over here. And that's a Cordible going down. Retro just slaps him down into the dirt. He has a Sorrow Blade. He has the breaking point. You know, minions, but this guy, he's starting to build up into his critical strike. This Gwyn is just snowballing out of control. I actually don't know what the answer is to shut him down right now. What would you do?
You're going to have to get Atlas Pauldrons first and foremost. Atlas Pauldrons are going to be required, but they're so far away from being able to do that I don't think they're going to be able to do it in time, as that's going to be another kill going on. And Cordible is going to drop low.
He got it!
Killed the 1v1 onto Retro.
Wow, I mean, I was in there. I was like, Purple Bunny, are you gonna hop in there? Corgible's like, nah, dude, take your time. I got this. I got this, though.
Oh, man. So that's good news, at least, for Seattle, getting a couple kills. And so they aren't going to be completely shut out of this. But I guess maybe that's the way you take care of Retro. Just go ham on him 1v1 with this Vox.
I guess. I mean, I actually don't see how that happened there, unless Retro was sitting like on low health when that fight started. Maybe just a little bit of a bold move coming out there to Retro, something that he can regret. He does have the reflex block now, so he can save that skedaddle if he wants. There's your Force Accord onto 2. A Cordible getting blown up the backside. Purple Bunny, he can't really do anything. The item's really not doing anything. Doc Barber getting the double kill on the Sky. Now he's going to look to chase down Andy Tran. Does he have that Surrey Strike coming up very soon? Death from above cuts off his escape route there. And now he's just looking for that forward rush. Retro around the top side. Andy Tran, maybe stand your ground. That's all you can do. It doesn't matter. That is the ace. UMass Amherst. Really, this is just Vainglory 101.
Yeah, just barely getting that ace as Purple Bunny did respawn, but doesn't matter how much time you get the ace buff by, you still get the same buff regardless, as they're going to be pushing it onto this turret. But Purple Bunny and a Cordible doing a lot of damage to Retro, going to be forcing them back, at least temporarily.
A nice step from above. An interesting angle actually catches on to Purple Bunny there. And UMass, they're going to go ahead and back up, regroup. Forced Accords up in 20 seconds. They've been playing around that as far as their engagements. We'll see if they want to go ahead and wait for that one to come back up again.
Yeah, very likely to do so. It's going to be up fairly shortly, about 10 seconds or so until it's available. But it gives Retro and Doc Barber a chance to back off a bit, go for this gold mine, maybe have a recall come through just to top up on health and energy. But as of right now, UMass, the map is their oyster. They can do whatever they really feel like, it seems, and end up coming out on top regardless.
So, massive damage coming out. The world is their oyster right now. I mean, at this point, does Seattle have enough offense actually coming out where they can afford to stay? Oh, right! It pulls him into the stun. He just got deleted off the map. UMass just styling on Seattle Pacific University right now. Leaving Purple Bunny and Andy Tran. 2 versus 3 on the map. Retro, a couple basics coming out. Look at that damage. 380 damage from one basic attack coming out. He does have the weapon infusion active.
Yep.
So this is a big thing. One reason he's hitting so hard. But on the flip side, Doc Barber, Frostburn, Broken Myth. This is everything a Sky could ever want in this moment.
Yeah, and look at this. They're going to be going 1 for 1.
Toe to toe. Retro finds it. Finds the kill. Finds the turret. This guy's just on a tear.
absolutely on a tear right now. And again, I like the gusto from Seattle Pacific to go for this strategy here. They don't actually have a typical captain role. None of their members are building utility items. It is all offense from Purple Bunny, and it's, again, I like at least they're trying something new, but unfortunately for them, it still doesn't seem to be working out as UMass is pulling further and further ahead.
I'd really like to see Andy Tran be a little bit more of a front line for his team on this Rhyme. He's so incredibly durable. He doesn't have a lot of defense, but he has a lot of just built-in durability, survivability in his kit right here. Aces High is going to come through wild. Force the cord off the mark as well. These guys trying to land these skill shots from max range. And UMass, let's see if they can, take advantage of this. Oh, big damage coming out. That's like two-shotting right now. Retro's just turning it up. Seattle, what can you do? Surge Strike over the top. Double kill for Retro and A. Cordial stunned up with a death from above.
Triple kill.
There you go. Triple kill for Retro and A on this Gwen. That's the ace. 14-2. We're not at 13 minutes into this game right now.
They are just really taking over. They've got ace buff minions coming in onto this turret that's going to strip away the barrier, and that choke point turret has fallen 13 minutes in. They have the base open. This Crystal Sentry just trying to get back to work, and he just gets interrupted, stunned
Just
up,
trying to get back to
and
work here.
eliminated.
Oh, UMass Amherst, man, taking advantage of the situation. Purple Bunny tries to stand his ground. It's not enough. I think Seattle Pacific realizing very quickly that things have gone terribly wrong for them here in Game 2 of this series. Aces High lands onto Andy Tran. Can they find the damage to follow up? Yes, they can. In fact, Luca's going to go ahead and get that kill.
And they are going to be just, again, running all over Seattle Pacific, running circles around them, it seems, because they are just out of control. 16-2 with an 11,000 gold lead. UMass Amherst, I mean, I'm happy to see them doing well here. A little bit of East Coast pride coming through, but Seattle Pacific, unfortunately, not going to be really enjoying this anywhere near as much.
Yeah, well, it's all right. They're definitely doing a good job. Maybe after getting woken up in their first series of the day, they turn up a little bit here in this third-place matchup now. UMass pretty close to closing the door here and sealing their third place overall for the CSL, and feels pretty good. I mean, you battle through the whole season, you find your way here. To close it out like this is a great way to do it. Purple Bunny with a Fearsome Shade, a three-man force to court. Polite Company's going to pull him back. Quibble lands onto Purple Bunny. It's very important that he stays alive, but the damage is there. It's 3-on-1, and he's down. Andy Tran getting slowed down with that Frostburn and Doc Barber. Just needs that target lock. He's going to boot forward. Got the target lock. Is he looking for the Surrey strike? Uses death from above. Surrey over the top. Gets the kill. And this, it's just dismantling. I mean, it's like they just it's like they read the instruction manual for Seattle Pacific, and they're like, okay, this is how we just take this team apart.
Yeah, absolutely. Just reverse engineering. Speaking of seeing as they're all college kids, that's probably relevant, but they are going to be now pushing in onto this turret. No minions, no problem. This turret is getting melted.
All right, let's see, maybe an opportunity for... Oh, no, it's not an opportunity. This is going to be all Seattle Pacific being torn apart. Doc Barber over the top. That was a wild play. If you stay alive, that is actually insane. Doc Barber will finally go down. Andy Tran, he's going to get melted at the backside of that one. Seattle Pacific getting aced in their base. University of Massachusetts Amherst. Really just phenomenal job. I mean, game 1, they showed us what they had. Game 2, I think they came out with a little bit of style here as well. Really impressive stuff.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. I mean, Seattle Pacific, I like their drafts, but unfortunately their in-game execution was lacking behind the University of Massachusetts Amherst, and that is going to be UMass taking third place here in the CSL Championship. Congratulations to them. Doc Barber, Luca, and Retro NA. They are your third place finishers.
I mean, and these guys play through the whole season. They go through the playoffs right here. To be in the championship, you would have liked to be in the finals, but to secure third place in a dominating fashion like that, I imagine feels pretty good.
Yeah, it's got to feel pretty good for them there. They are going to be getting a decent amount of that prize pool for finishing third place. And, I mean, even for Seattle Pacific, fourth place finish, but you got a trip to E3. I mean, that's pretty good. That's better than I ever got when I was in college. So
they're probably better players than you were at that point in your career. But right now, I'm
probably
really curious.
Better players than I am now.
That's actually true. I was looking at the skill tiers there, and they are. It's not hard to beat him, though. We had Batiste not building any defense as the captain on that team. He was going offensive. I want to know, Jackson, Suijay, was that the right call? Maybe should have they done something else?
Well, it wasn't a call that worked out for them, but it was certainly a bold call, and I could admire that. Suijay, rather than me admiring its boldness, so talk to me about whether it made sense.
Okay, I think triple carry can work, but you still need the defensive items to disrupt your enemy team's win conditions. Like, they need a Crucible to block Fin pull. So many Fin pulls landed with a Gwen stun, Aces High stun combo, Sky cutting off escape routes. You know, you need those, you know, support items to basically disrupt the win conditions of enemy team. And then triple carry could work, but they never comboed Batiste's Ordained and Ultimate, etc. with Rhymes, you know, Valkyrie Ultimate. There's a lot of the indecisiveness coming out from Seattle, and UMass has played extremely well. There's a synergy between that team. Looked really good against Seattle.
And let's have a look at just how good it was with some replays of that third place series. You can see here UMass just dismantling their opponents. Seattle not able to make it happen.
Yeah, and Dark Barber here again, you know, he played the alpha that one game and carried on it, and now with Sky, he played really well. And you can see they're really good at pushing objectives this game. And look how aggressive Gwen plays there. He reflex blocks at the right time. And then Seattle's just there farming while his buddy gets killed at the turret. And I feel like these are some, you know, shot calling that need to make better. And it's a beautiful Sky ultimate here that cuts off the escape route of Fox. Finn comes in and just basically CCs them. Again, UMass is just showing great synergy, great decisive play. And as soon as they see Seattle retreating, they go on and kill and are very aggressive in getting all these kills and just snowballing the game.
They did a great job. Third place goes the way of UMass. Congratulations to them. But the real matchup is coming up. We've got the grand finals, a best of 5 coming up after a short break. It's going to be between the University of Utah and also CSUF. I'm excited. Let's get it underway after this short break.
Poke his head in, find some damage, but Druid is an insane slurry strike, dives all the way into the back, picks up the kill. Palma might go down, hit by the one-shot, one kill. Druid once more. It's another ace for Phoenix Armada. You just can't fight them right now.
Here comes Zero as well, and Amoa, they should turn it around. Bowler dies to the fire. Avengers is dead. Looking for the chase, Yonju takes the kill. Off towards the side, Status jumps in though, and he'll take one for himself.
Oh, they're turning! They're turning on them!
Hi, I'm here to kill you. It's gonna be a dead Willie right here.
Use the vortex!
Wow!
Oh!
Nice! That's the ace! gets caught up in the goose. Aloha will take him down and the snipe. Unbelievable for Phoenix Armada. Willie stunned up and turn around to reverse to the next status. That's a bounce from Red, keeps him alive. Willie's dead. Red on the front line, status around the back line. Old School's doing work. Old School going ham. What do you do in this situation? Oh, I do not know if he can do this. Status is pinned in. Mango leaves down. Old School on the backside. Status goes for it. Old School gets it. Big stars. What? Taking 3. Woo! The game right here. Best Chuck nearly died on the Sanctuary. Humanist, Phoenix Armada, they're doing it. They want to take the first World Championship by storm in style. Phoenix Armada are the first victory World Champions.
Wow, this is all I can say. Sportsmanship, cheering crowd, everyone has goosebumps.
The Vainglory community, it's all about love.